Today's episode, we got a very controversial topic. A four-star quarterback by the name of Marcus Stokes, who was caught using the N-word on a video, had his scholarship rescinded from Florida, who he had previously committed to.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Fast forward to now, he got an offer from the most unlikely school that you would not think of. If this is your first time here, consider hitting that subscribe button so you could be notified for more content like this. And don't forget to like this video, share this video. Let's talk about it.
It's a matter of opinion. If I'm right, but I'm leaving off for now to go outside, putting chores and obligations on our part.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Matter of Opinion. I'm your boy, Walls P.
I'm your girl, Erica.
So, in a Sports Illustrated article, it states that a college football quarterback recruit who was seen rapping a racial slur on video has received a new offer, and it comes from an unlikely source. The four-star quarterback Marcus Stokes is one of the nation's top uncommitted players at his position, becoming one ever since that video became public. In Florida, the school he originally pled to rescinded its offer. But in a post on social media, Stokes revealed that Albany State, an HBCU based in the state of Georgia, has offered him a scholarship. In the tweet, it says, "Blessed to receive my first HBCU offer to play at Albany State University." Stokes originally committed to Florida back in July, but the school pulled its offer after the video of him singing the slur went public. At the time, Stokes apologized for what he said and noted that he understood why Florida made its decision. "I deeply apologize for the words in the song that I chose to say." Stokes' statement read in part, "I fully accept the consequences for my action, and I respect the University of Florida's decision to withdraw my scholarship offer to play football." Most other Power 5 teams also backed out of recruiting Stokes at the time. Stokes was originally a four-star recruit and the number 24 ranked quarterback in the 2023 football recruiting class. In addition to the offer from Albany State, Stokes also received a scholarship offer from Division II school, West Florida. So, fast forward to now. Given with the information that we know, do you feel that this HBCU is wrong for offering him a scholarship, or do you think they did the right thing by offering him a scholarship?
Okay, so I'm gonna say this. I feel like they did good as offering him a scholarship. And the reason for that is one, you can't discredit what he does on the football field. You can't also discredit that most of the times these are children. Because think about it, when you're in that last year of high school, a lot of times you're 17 turning 18. So I feel like, yes, are kids going to listen to the music in their area? Of course. Are they going to sing the song lyrics that is on the music in their area? Of course. When you start looking down south music, meaning your Georgias, your Floridas, that type of genre is highly explicit. So if you're telling me, hey, he's singing a song that was playing on the radio and the song lyrics that are there, you can't really hold that against a person for
Hold
singing
up.
a
Let
song.
me let me interject here because wouldn't that be detriment to these hip hop artists who are making these songs that are putting these words in it and then expecting everybody, the people in the masses, to buy this music and then turn around and say, "Hey, you could buy this music, support me, but you can't say it." You get what I'm saying? So isn't that a detriment to them?
It is a detriment to them, but I also feel like it's also a little bit on freedom of speech. If the song got a catchy beat and the words string together, guess what? You want people to sing the songs. You want that song to become popular. And I think that's the other thing. I am a little biased about college recruiters and colleges looking at some of these kids' social media posts. And the reason that I feel that way is when you think of college of the yesteryear, you're talking people that started college before, I'm going to say the early 2000s, before social media was really popular. Those sets of college kids didn't have the same biases that the kids have today. But I also think kids need to be more mindful about their posts on social media because unfortunately, once it hits the internet, it's always going to be there. So I feel like it's almost a two-edged sword because if you're telling me based off my merit on the football field, based off of my grades, I got scholarships to go to these colleges, and you're telling me I sing one song and you take it away, that's almost a detriment. Because my thing is, yes, do I want to go to college and play football? Of course. But a lot of times these kids this may be that first generation of kid going to college. And maybe they need that opportunity to help them pay for school to do something better with their lives to become an active member of society. So I do feel like it's almost a two-edged sword when you look at that stuff. I also feel like colleges in general can either create some type of bias towards some of these kids because guess what? If you're checking everybody's social media pages, that's one thing. So if you're rescinding scholarships and admissions for everybody that makes a crazy post online, I'm all for it. But I do feel like when you look at people that get their information rescinded, it's almost one sided.
See, I gotta disagree with you. The reason why I gotta disagree with you is because if another school or something would have gave him the scholarship, all right, fine. But you're talking about a HBCU, which is basically a black school. And what do we say in the black community? We want respect, you know, we don't want people getting away saying all these racial slurs and everything like that. Here you had a person who was caught saying a racial slur. Granted, it was a rap song or whatever the case may be. The bottom line is you still said it, had the wherewithal to record it, and then put it on social media. So you felt real comfortable and emboldened to do so. So, yes, you're going to suffer the consequences. So, the fact that this school basically gave him the scholarship, what does that say? We're not as offended for people using racial slurs towards us. So, if this institution can't even respect that, why should anybody else respect us in the black community and not feel bad or be able to just throw racial slurs out loosely with no problem, with no consequences? Because clearly he's still getting a scholarship. Look at the Kyrie Irving situation. This man just literally posted a tweet about a movie, a documentary. And you know what he had to do to get reinstated? Apologize and condemn the film he promoted. Make a $500,000 donation to anti hate causes, complete sensitivity training, complete anti Semitism training, meet with the ADL and Jewish leaders, all these things. But yet, he just issue an apology, and the same people that he condemned, well, not condemned, but the same people that one could say, hey, he was just singing song lyrics, but to others, it can be offensive. So, pretty much the people that he offended are the same people that turn around and gave him a scholarship. Make that make sense to me.
You have to look at the circumstance, right? He recorded this video. He was in a car. He was singing song lyrics, right?
Mhm.
I feel like, yes, it would have been something that would have been offensive if he was saying that towards someone else. I do feel like he was singing the words to a song. If he was singing the words to a song, do we persecute people as much as if they was just calling somebody the N-word? And I guess
Here
that
here's where I interject though, because that's a phenomenal point. But the point that you lose me, because I get it. When we're in our private space, we may wind up saying whatever, freedom of speech, like you said. But it's when you take said video and then upload it. That's where I have the issue with it. It's not more so like, hey, he was singing long song lyrics or whatever, which I turn around and I blame the artists, like rappers and stuff, for doing this. Granted, when I rapped, I did the same thing. But now that I'm more educated, and a lot of these artists are educated about, the N word and everything like that, it's like, yo, stop using it, so to speak. But like I said, that's where he loses me, where you basically uploaded it to social media.
you have to think about it. These are kids. They live their life on social media. So a lot of times they're just automatically living their life online without thinking of the consequences. If he would have thought about these consequences before he would have posted it, I guarantee he would have never posted that song. He probably would have posted something completely different if he really thought it would have jeopardized his football career at any school. Because think about it. Florida State was not the only school that rescinded the offer. You had quite a few schools the minute the video came out because guess what? They're not looking at the context. They're looking at it as, hey, we got you on video that you recorded saying this particular word that's a slur. And you have to think about it. Some of these kids really don't know the meanings of some of these words going forward. And I'm going to say that because if people aren't talking about this in school, you aren't talking about this in person, and if they're around their group of friends and they find it's acceptable language, then no, they may not assume how detrimental or how harmful the words that are coming out of their mouths are. So I do kind of blame it on, yes, the kid for not knowing, but I also blame it on society as a whole because everybody that's around this kid should be informing them, hey, just because you hear these words on the radio don't mean you can say it. Just because your friends are saying it don't mean it's acceptable. But you also have to accept that unfortunately in some areas this is acceptable language. And what's detrimental and problematic to me may not be to somebody else.
Here's my thing. The fact that these other schools pulled out, right? That tells you that the schools basically saw that what he said, regardless it was song lyrics or not, you basically can offend a group of people. So, with the HBCU now offering a scholarship, it basically paints a picture like this is okay to do. Why do people don't want to say anything about the Jewish community? Why do people not want to say anything about the LGBTQ community? Because if you mess up, they're coming for you. They're going to make sure that you don't say offensive things towards them. And we got to stop being nice and actually put our foot down and be like, no, this is unacceptable. Because the more we're nice and all this other stuff, guess what? The more people are going to feel emboldened to do so because there's very little consequences for it. So I get it. Yes, this is a kid, stuff like this. But if I have a white friend who is basically saying, the N word, or I'm saying the offensive slur towards them, that doesn't, just because I have that okay between me and my friend, which in a nutshell is still wrong, but we all know, like when you're amongst your friends, we say offensive stuff to each other that we don't even think about. But with that being said, I also know if I go out into the world, that's not how I'm supposed to conduct myself. And I'm pretty sure a high schooler who is ready to go on to college has that knowledge of this can be offensive. And I get it. You may live on social media and the whole nine, but the history of the N word, like, it stands out. Like, just about everybody know, if you get into a heated argument with a black person, if you want to say something offensive to them, say the N word to them. And it's hard. I'm hard pressed to believe that people don't know this. That's just my opinion. It's not factual that, hey, some people don't know that it's not offensive, but that's just my opinion on the matter.
Yes, for you, it may be offensive, but you have to think about a 17 and 18-year-old kid at this point. If it's not being talked about in school and it's not being talked about in their environment right there around them, then guess what? No. Do you not hear all of these things that are happening in schools around the country? That you got teachers bringing cotton to school, having only the black students pick cotton. Like, you have these things, and it's like, Dad, slavery's been over for years. And you
You're, you
still blatantly have people that are being blind to discrimination against black people. You have people blindly not trying to teach African American studies on AP courses. Like, until people are really learning these things, no, you'll never have any changes. And
yeah,
yes,
but
am I blaming this kid? Yes, I am blaming him. But do I also believe in second chances? Yes. I felt like yes, you were going to Division I schools. Do you really think going to either HBCU or Division II is going to stop his shine? If this boy does what he got to do in school, I feel like if the end goal is to get to the National Football League, he could probably get there. And a lot of times it's like, hey, once they cut your scholarships from a lot of these schools, a lot of times these kids don't progress. They don't go any further. So yes, am I okay with him getting a scholarship? Yes, because think about it. He's ranked number 24. So if you rank number 24 as a quarterback and you're a school that needs a quarterback, you go offer him something. It
I'm
may
not
even only be
arguing.
on a temporary basis, but
I'm
you
not
go offer
arguing that
because
he
the
shouldn't.
end goal.
I'm not arguing that he shouldn't get a scholarship. I'm arguing the fact that the scholarship that you got was from a HBCU, and everybody in the black community is like basically like stand firm ground that racial slurs or disrespect is thrown at black people with no kind of repercussions. So
I
that's
get
what I'm
that.
getting at. You get what I'm saying? So
I
if another
do. I
school would have gave
wholeheartedly.
it, cool, but HBCU, like, come on, you're wrong for that.
But they're probably looking at it the same way that I am. They're looking at it as, hey, he was singing a song, which is probably a different context than if he was in front of somebody and just swearing and in word this the whole time. So they're probably looking at it differently because guess what? I guarantee you got students on the HBCU campus that's using the N word. I guarantee you're going to hear it in some of their songs that are
So
playing
let me
on
ask you
campus.
so let me ask you this: if a professor on a college campus or something was, or whatever, or a professor or whoever was on that worked for a college campus, and they uploaded a video with them saying the F word for the LGBTQ community, or saying something like that, or saying something to offend Jewish people, and they were just basically quoting song lyrics that an artist said, you don't think they're going to get fired and there's going to be repercussions? Do you think people are going to look at it as these are just song lyrics? Absolutely not. They're going to suffer, they're going to fire and probably be fired and probably become untouchable. Now, the saving grace is, yes, this boy is a teenager, but at the same time, you shouldn't get an offer from a HBCU. Time should go by where you show a history of, hey, I did XYZ, I learned from my mistake, blase blah, I'm ready to contribute to society. Because everybody else who would have did something like that, they would have had to probably take steps, which is exactly why I brought up the Kyrie Irving situation, where they're like, you got to do this for you to be reinstated back into the league to play for the Nets. That's all I'm saying. If the HBCU would have saw steps like that, then I cool. But the fact that nothing else was done, just an apology, and you're the first school to give him a scholarship, nah, I don't agree with it whatsoever.
Yes, but you have to look at it this way too. If the was the professor, guess what? You were already under contract. If you were Kyrie, guess what? You're a public figure. I feel like the circumstances are a little bit different because one, he is a child. Two, yes, did he apologize on social media and all of that stuff? Of course he did. We don't know what other stuff they have him doing because nobody ever made it public. You don't know if he makes this commitment to the school, they make him go to sensitivity training. We don't know. You don't know if part of their requirement is, hey, you come here, now you got to take, let's say, African American studies course. You don't know. And I
Yeah, but
think
with
that's
the
the other
tension
thing.
that's but with the tension that is going on with all these different movements and stuff like that, you're doing a disservice by not letting that known if that is something that's in there. It's about
Cor-
transparency. And like,
Correct. But when you're a
go ahead.
university and you have your own rules, you can do what you do. My thing is, yes. Are they punishing him like the other schools? Not no, they're not. But are they also looking at, hey, kids can make mistakes? Yes, probably. And like I said, if anything happens once this boy goes to this school, guess what? They also have the ability to be like, hey, we brought you here and we shutting off all your stuff. So, that is a thing too, because you have to start looking at, okay, this is your one incident. You don't get another one. So if you don't get another incident, he could be great in these 4 or 5 years in school playing for them. He
You
could
know what I wish
also be a detriment and they sever ties. You got kids that they do that. You got some of these big name schools, they bring them in for a year, and if the kid is not academically at school correctly, if the kid is causing problems in the neighborhood afterwards, guess what? They don't have to accept you that next semester. And those are probably stipulations that they probably talked to him on the back end, like, hey, we gonna go ahead and give you this chance, but let us regret this chance. I guarantee he'll be cut off, and that's the next thing that you'll hear.
I'm sorry. I hear what you're saying, but I disagree. The fact of the matter is, you're the school that gave him a scholarship after everybody pulled it. And even if you have all these things in place, these are things that you should put to the masses, because it's about optics. And the optics right now does not look good. What I gather from it is, you can say whatever you want, as long as you could hoop or throw a football or whatever the case may be, guess what? You can evade any type of, what's the word I'm looking for? Any type of punishment. And I don't agree with it. What I honestly hope happens is Florida or another school, a big school, see, hey, they offered them. So that must mean that it's all good. We got the green light. I hope they offer him a scholarship and he jump ship to them and leave them hanging for their stupidity or actions that they did. That's how I honestly feel about it. Because to me, that was disrespectful what you did. And I stand firm on that.
Now I'm on the opposite end. I find that when people get their second chances, a lot of times they keep their alliance to who gave them that chance. So I do want him to take this as a second chance. I want him to go to school. I want him to prosper. So I want him to do good in his classes on top of doing good on the football field. And I want him to prove everybody wrong that, hey, I made a one mistake when I was in high school. And then I came to college with a new outlook. And I want to exceed in everything that I put my mind to there.
The other thing I just want to say too is what he did, like, I wholeheartedly don't find it offensive because he was singing song lyrics. That aspect of it, I blame on the music that our people put out there. Wholeheartedly, I put it on them. But with that being said, you still had the wherewithal to upload it online, and that's where you're held accountable for it. What do you, ladies and gentlemen, think about it? Do you agree with Erica's take or do you agree with my take on the matter? At the end of the day, we still want to hear what you, ladies and gentlemen, your take on this matter is. Drop it in the comments. Let us know what you guys think. We would love to hear it. Again, if there's your first time here, consider hitting that subscribe button and clicking that notification bell so you could be updated on more content like this. And definitely follow us on our other social media platforms. The links are in the description. Like this video, share this video, comment on this video. I'm your boy Walls P,
I'm your girl, Erica.
and thanks for watching another episode of Matter of Opinion. Peace.
Peace.
It's a matter of opinion.